Okay, we are here today with Dr. Needham from the...
Good morning.
Good morning, or good afternoon in Australia, I suppose, or good evening. So we wanted to talk to you a little bit more about Sirolimus and the clinical trial going on in Australia and how is it going, and how difficult has it been to actually repurpose a drug for IBM, and kind of the challenges that you have to face taking this trial to patients.
Yeah, I mean, that's a long and great question. So Sirolimus, we're really following in Olivier Benvenist's footsteps, because he did the first study in France in 44 patients and showed that it looked like it was a disease-modifying drug that slowed progression or stabilised the disease. So we wanted to prove the robustness of his data by looking at it globally and internationally, so we could change practice for everyone, all IBM patients across the world. So we're trying to get 140 patients across the world, 70 on Sirolimus and 70 on placebo. The challenges became largely bigger in COVID. So it destroyed cold chain transport, so we had to use the tablet, which means we had to over-encapsulate the tablet as the placebo, which makes it quite difficult for some IBM patients to swallow. Olivier used the liquid, but that needed cold chain transport, and COVID really made that impossible. So unfortunately our trial is limited to people with IBM that can swallow the capsule, because it is quite big, and so that's been one of the challenges. Pfizer have been very generous in providing the drug for this trial for free, which has been great, but the support that goes behind the clinical trial in terms of the funding and the contracts between all the different regions in the world has been a significant challenge. So Australia, we're well and truly advanced in terms of the trial. Some of my patients have even completed the protocol. Whereas the US are about halfway through recruiting, and Europe haven't even started yet. And that is in large part due to just the difficulties in the different regions trying to get the legal kind of framework behind the clinical trial and the governance sorted. So yeah, I mean, the trial's progressing. We're about halfway through now, and hopefully we'll be complete in the next couple of years, but it'll be another year behind that to get the data, analysed and really, I guess, tell the world whether or not Sirolimus is a disease-modifying drug for inclusion body myositis. But so far it seems reasonably well tolerated by my patients.
Yeah. Right. I think that was one of the concerns for doctors, like they have no experience with Sirolimus, right? They use prednisone all the time, but they're afraid to use Sirolimus. At least in the beginning, we're kind of a bit of dry. So at least now the side effects probably of people dropping out of the clinical trial has not been a big issue.
Yeah, it hasn't really been a big issue so far. So leg swelling and gastrointestinal side effects, but most of the clinicians are pretty familiar with prescribing medicines like methotrexate, mycophenolate for other forms of myositis. So I think Sirolimus is just learning a new drug and what to watch out for. And most of the PIs have been really on board with that. So.
Well, thank you for all your work in the IBM part, because we need more drugs. We need more repurposed drugs that we can actually use and are accessible, not only to patients in the United States, but also patients around the world where the funding is not that big.
That's right.
I mean, we talk to patients in Africa, we talk about patients in South America, so we hopefully can get more opportunities for trying new drugs the same way.
Yes.
And we certainly collaborate in any way we can.
Thanks a lot. Thank you so much for your support.
Thank you.
Thank you.